Hey, this is your boy, Big H, coming back at you on another Freebie Tuesday. Today I'm going to be giving away some more great freebies, okay, plugins, actually to use to make your mixes sound better, okay? But I wanted to share this video that Sean Divine just put out. It's on the SSL Fusion. Now I'm pretty sure you heard about this device. If you ever want to learn a little more about how it works, well, I want to play this video that Sean Divine actually created. Big ups to him. And check it out.
All the way from the start, I can feel it in my heart, like all the way from the start.
Hey, what's going on out there? I'm Sean Divine. Hope you all are doing well. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I'm using the solid state logic Fusion in my stereo bus processing or my mastering processing to get a final sheen, get some nice analog character, some warmth, some brightness, as well as some other things in terms of stereo width. All kinds of really cool things that we can do with the Fusion to bridge the gap between our digital realm in terms of the DAW and get some of that flavor from some analog processing. So I'm using the Fusion as an insert in Logic with the I/O plugin. We're just routing the output and then bringing it back into Logic. And as far as ozone goes, if you see that, the only thing that's happening is just some limiting for the video. There's no other processing. We're going to do all that with the Fusion today. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and just reach over here and bring our input trim back just a little bit so that we've got some room to work. It is a little hotter, so I'm going to bring that back. Let's go ahead and play it back just as is. I'm going to bypass everything on the Fusion, and then we'll dive in and start doing some mastering processing from scratch.
Just a freestyle to vent on the Sunday. Games on, lights bright. You ain't even gotta think I'm nice, I get it. You're feeling empty, go with it. Society might not feel it, but you gotta say what you mean out here if you really wanna make a difference. Really can sell you everything as long as it's in the pocket. When the kicks and snares is popping, all the lies just stop it. Rebirth, it starts today, and I'm feeling a certain way. And I came out here to prove to the doubters, man, my faith is up louder. You might have rattled me one time, now I got peace of mind. It's divine like.
All right, so you get the idea. Mix is pretty solid, everything's pretty consistent, but we need a little bit of that analog magic, and that's where the Fusion comes in. So first up, we're just gonna go left to right and process this track. So you're gonna see we have a high pass filter on the Fusion. So we've got off, 30 hertz, 40 hertz, and 50 hertz. So 30 hertz is a lot more useful these days because we can just roll off all the extreme lows. More traditional processing, we were seeing stuff at 50, which these days just for this type of music doesn't really make sense. I'll go through all of them just so that you can hear them. Let's start with 30.
Just a freestyle to vent on the Sunday. Games on, lights bright. You ain't even gotta think I'm nice, I get it. You're feeling empty, go with it. Society might not feel it, but you gotta say what you mean out here if you really wanna make a difference. Really can sell you everything as long as it's in the pocket. When the kicks and snares is popping.
So depending on what you're working on, again, we can really clean out that low end. Very useful. I'm not going to use it for this track because I want to keep a lot of that low end energy, especially considering the genre and sort of the style of this track. We've got a lot of stuff going on down there, but I don't want to thin that out. So moving on to the vintage drive. This is a very, very nice module in that we can add a little bit of saturation, some distortion, and some heat to our track that's going to kind of bring everything up a little bit, and it just adds a nice presence to the entire mix. So you'll notice that when I engage this, we get a little bit of a noise floor, just the analog processing happening there, but as we bring the drive and the density up, that will go down. And let's take a listen to what this will do.
Just a freestyle to vent on the Sunday. Sunday, games on, lights bright. You ain't even gotta think I'm nice, I get it. You're feeling empty, go with it. Society might not feel it, but you gotta say what you mean out here if you really wanna make a difference. Really can sell you everything as long as it's in the pocket. When the kicks and snares is popping, all the lies just stop it.
So a very useful tool in terms of perceived loudness, just bringing everything up a little bit and giving it that nice warm saturation. Moving over to the Violet EQ, this is probably my favorite module in the Fusion. It is an excellent mastering EQ. So we've got a 30 Hz, 50 Hz, 70 Hz, and 90 Hz notch for the lows, so we can adjust that either going down or up. And then we've also got a high control, which we can set that to 8K, 12K, 16K, or 20K, which is going to give you a really nice air on your mix if you want to just bring that up a little bit. So I'm going to try out the low first. I'm going to keep it real subtle. You can already hear this mix has a lot of low end to it. So we're just going to add maybe a dB, 2 dB to one of these notches. So let's enable this.
Just a freestyle to vent on the Sunday, games on, lights bright. You ain't even gotta think I'm nice, I get it. You're feeling empty, go with it. Society might not feel it, but you gotta say what you mean out here if you really wanna make a difference. Really can sell you everything as long as it's in the pocket. When the kicks and snares is popping, all the lies just stop it. Rebirth, it starts today, and I'm feeling a certain way, and I came out here to prove to the doubters, man, my faith is alive.
So add just a touch of low end. You can hear when I was increasing that too much, we're starting to get a little bit of muddy sort of sound in the low end, some distortion. So I like to keep the low end on the Violet EQ really light and rely more on the mix for that. But moving on to the high, this is a really, really nice high end boost. Let me go through those notches with about 3 or 4 dB applied here.
Just a freestyle to vent on the Sunday, games on, lights bright. You ain't even gotta think I'm nice, I get it. You're feeling empty, go with it. Society might not feel it, but you gotta say what you mean out here if you really wanna make a difference. Really can sell you everything as long as it's in the pocket. When the kicks and snares is popping, all the lies just stop it. Rebirth, it starts today, and I'm feeling a certain way, and I came out here to prove to the doubters, man, my faith is up louder. You might have read on me one time, now I got peace of mind. It's divine, like whoa. Never concerned with the plays or attention, did it for the mention. Whoa. I've been out here praying for my foes. Friends who rooting for you come and go. Oh, oh.
So just an amazing sheen and top end. I set it to 16K. I just like what it did for the vocal, some of those hi-hats and higher percussion elements in the mix. So moving on to the high frequency compressor. This is going to give you some nice warmth and just kind of smooth out some of that top end harshness if you have it there. So I'm going to just set the crossover a little bit lower than it is. It goes all the way up to 20K. We're going to bring it back slowly, and then I'll slowly introduce the threshold so you can hear what happens.
Just a freestyle to vent on the Sunday, games on, lights bright. You ain't even gotta think I'm nice, I get it. You're feeling empty, go with it. Society might not feel it, but you gotta say what you mean out here if you really wanna make a difference. Really can sell you everything as long as it's in the pocket. When the kicks and snares is popping, all the lies just stop it. Rebirth, it starts today, and I'm feeling a certain way, and I came out here to prove to the doubters, man, my faith is up louder. You might have read on me one time, now I got peace of mind. It's divine, like whoa.
So very subtle, but giving you some nice control over the harshness, and you can dial that in more extremely, but I just want to kiss the high frequency compressor here. Moving over to the stereo image section, great width and space control. This is based on some mid-side processing that's happening inside the unit, but let's power that on and see what happens.
When the kicks and snares is popping, all the lies just stop it. Rebirth, it starts today, and I'm feeling a certain way, and I came out here to prove to the doubters, man, my faith is up louder. You might have read on me one time, now I got peace of mind. It's divine, like whoa. Never concerned with the plays or attention, did it for the mention. Whoa. I've been out here praying for my foes. Friends who rooting for you come and go. Oh, oh. Both sides staying with me that I know. This music help me deal with all the highs and lows. Don't let them weigh down your soul.
So we can get a really 3D sounding master there with the stereo image section. You know, I don't want to get too out of control, but I wanted to let you hear it. with it boosted all the way up. So moving over to the right, we've got the transformer control, which when we enable this, we're going to get a nice sizzle to the top end, a little bit of saturation and some warmth in the low end. So I'll enable that so you can hear.
When the kicks and snares is popping, all the lies are stopping. Rebirth it starts today, and I'm feeling a certain way. And I came out here to prove to the doubters, man, my faith is up louder. You might have rattled me one time, now I got peace of mind. It's divine, like whoa, never concerned with.
So since we already did, some high-end boosting with the Violet EQ, we've already got the vintage drive that's kind of rounding out the low end as well. I'm going to keep that disabled, but just knowing you do have that, it works in different scenarios better than others with what I've tested with it. But sometimes, it's just a little bit much if you've already boosted pretty heavily with the Violet EQ. All right, so let's do a final A/B. I'm going to bypass the Fusion. You can see with the N button that I can actually engage and disable these individual modules, but we're going to bypass all of them with our master bypass control here on the Fusion, and I'll enable it so we can hear the difference.
Whoa, never concerned with the plays or attention, did it for the mention. I've been out here praying for my foes. Friends who rooting for you come and go. Oh, oh. Both sides staying with me that I know. This music help me deal with all the highs and lows. Don't let them weigh down your soul. If you can dream about it, you can be about it. Oh, don't hang your head for too long. If you can dream about it, you can get about it. Wrap it up, but I stack it up when it feels right. Underestimated my craft, yeah, but I do what I feel like. Produce it, write it, mix it, master, take it home. Caught me in the zone, Lord, let it be known that I don't want these bright lights all on me today.
So you can hear what a massive difference, some of the modules we have them set to be a little more subtle, but this is a toolkit that just lends itself extremely well to giving you a the ultimate hybrid sort of environment where you can work digitally in the DAW, but then we can get outboard with the Fusion and just get that analog magic and that flavor that we need to take us to the next level before we're going to release this. You can also use this for individual tracks, stems, all that kind of stuff, but I just find that the different modules lend themselves really well for final master processing or stereo bus processing to bring your mix together and give it that professional polish that it needs. So I hope you guys find this helpful. If you're interested,
Hey, nice piece of gear. I bet you say to yourself, hey, I can use that in my studio. Well, if you want to get it, you can actually get it from Sweetwater or any outlet like that actually has the gear there. I'm pretty sure all those places have it because it is a great piece of gear and a lot of people are snatching this up. The SSL Fusion. With that, I'm going to leave you guys, but before I do that, I'm going to let you know that in the description box down below, there's a link to where you can check out some freebie plugins, some nice plugins to help you with your mixes as well. So with that, I'm Big H signing off. Okay? You take care now.